We are now unfortunately seeing apparently the beginning of the maelstrom of sinkage catching up with the Hurt Syndicate, in inhaling the Hurt Syndicate. Because I'll explain it for the people that didn't see it, and then again welcome your thoughts, Brian. But Renee Moxley Goods in the parking lot, and the SUV pulls up, and out step MVP and Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, and they look like they're dressed in these custom-made suits. And MVP has the big announcement that Bobby Lashley will wrestle tonight. His debut in the fucking, first match in the company. And suddenly in the parking lot again, Swerve from behind knocks Lashley over. And I've been bumped harder in line at Kroger at the checkout counter. But then the announcers had to call attention because you could barely see it on camera. If you went back and freeze framed it, that's the way you would know that Swerve's got this giant logging chain wrapped around his hand, but he didn't hit Lashley in the back of the head, nor with his hand. And then when Lashley goes down and he falls into Shelton, but Swerve backs up and stands there, and Bobby doesn't get up, and Shelton has to go down with Bobby because Swerve is standing, and then he turns around and runs off. Shelton Benjamin could have been up on his feet and run that motherfucker down in 40 feet and fucking took him down. But he's doing this Keystone Cops deal where Bobby Lashley falls into him, and he can't get up for 10 fucking seconds. What was was it a 4.40 he did in school? Shelton, I'm telling you. Anyway.
I have no idea.
Swerve leaves. I used to know because of the commentary. Swerve leaves, and MVP, who then finally runs after him, the guy with a fucking hip operation or whatever. And the announcers had to point out that Swerve had a chain on his hand because you never saw it. And I said, and what the fuck? And now here's Bobby Lashley. He made a big debut, 2 weeks ago, and he's making his first wrestling appearance tonight, and this guy's already knocked him on his ass. I'm sorry that they got heat on Swerve so early, but now it's not the time for it to be even Steven. Somebody's telling Tony, I guess some of his play booker friends on the internet when he was in college or maybe now.
They're not just on the internet anymore.
Well,
they're right next to him.
He got some heat last week, so now Swerve has to get no. I don't care. Bobby Lashley is the bigger star than Swerve Strickland because he's been a champion and on a majorly pushed role for the biggest promotion that has triple the ratings, whatever the fuck. He's a bigger star, but not in this atmosphere yet. He needs to come in and he needs to be taken seriously and shown that he is serious and gotten over in this atmosphere, much like everybody else needs to be and should be and seldom are. And if you're upset that he got too much on Swerve, Swerve needs to get some back on him because he got the match coming up. Guess what? You're rushing the fucking match. It's too soon because all the parts aren't ready yet. You put some of the ingredients in your goddamn meatloaf while they were still frozen, and the other ones were raw and they cooked at an improper fucking balance. Oh, Chef Khan. So that's what the problem is. So already they're sabotaging, and we'll get to the other part later on. But now they're being made to look like Fumbly McFumbleton and crew. What the fuck is going on with this show? Your thoughts on that, by the way?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different problems there. First of all, Bobby Lashley's first match is an unannounced match until minutes before it. So anyone who was just going to be curious to see how he was in an AEW ring, they may not know about it. That's the first thing. The second thing is, You know, it's like Swerve is both the worst booked babyface and the worst booked heel at the same time. And there was no reason, whatever we are, 2-3 weeks into Lashley being there, he shouldn't have been down on his ass for a second. And I don't know. I mean, I don't understand the logic in booking him that way. Even if he's going to beat Swerve at the pay-per-view, you didn't have to give Swerve this.
Especially with what's going to happen later on in the show, too, by the way.
Yeah. And again, you want the Hurt Syndicate to stand apart from everything else that is garbage on this show. It comes from the booking. Who's going to be the person to responsibly book them? Because it's a missed opportunity, and it's going to be, because it's Tony Khan, it's going to be a missed opportunity.
Even if you change nothing but they get out of the fucking car and they say Bobby Lashley is wrestling tonight, and somebody said, well, Swerve Strickland's here and he's not too happy about it, well, then he needs to do something about it if he thinks he's man enough, and leave it there with what's going to happen later on. But no, he's going to come in front of the other two guys that are both ambulatory, knock this guy on his ass, and stand there for a minute and go, well, yeah, and then fucking lope off into the night, unmolested. What the fuck?